Hello, I am the maniacal Dr. Watson. Welcome back to Cultist Simulator. Last time, we found a shrine to the Colonel, and we are attempting to destroy a feaster. I think I'll also use this time to talk about, so I don't know if you'll have seen this yet, but I am starting a new series. At least I'm planning on doing it soon. It's gonna be a secret for the moment, because reasons. Mostly because I want to actually try to get a little ways into the game before showing it off. I also just realized I don't think we can complete this. Not without... What does a wound give? Oh, we could have actually used a wound before. Not what we need, though. Also, I also need a fun. Oh, you know what? The funds we don't necessarily need. I think I went right into this one, maybe a little bit too quickly. Also, I think I've been ignoring these. Yeah, I'm not a... These ones... Yeah. So really... I've opened what was sealed. I wonder if I missed it because I actually went through it. A sticky, stinchy miasma. My head swims. We're a little bit stuck on this one. I don't think... Unless I had 4 Grail, I don't have a way to get through this one. I wonder what an Underworld connection gives. Let's find out. But yeah, I kind of want to get a little bit into the series before starting to put it on my channel, because it could go really bad. I'll put it to you that way. It might just never get started. This has moth, and a significant amount of it, but that does not help us on this particular one. That is highly unfortunate. So, let's see. An official connection? We might as well as grab it. I'll also need to split down a decade. This is also something I find interesting that, from what I can tell, decades do seem more useful in the long run, but at least early on it's safe to break them down. Once you get further and further, though, you want to have held on to more and more. 6 Grail. A mate. Wait, that's not Grail, that's Heart. That makes me feel not smart. Especially because I don't think we'll even be able to get through the last one. How much edge do we currently have in here? 6? Okay, we won't include that because it doesn't actually help us make it through. So I think we can... If we pass through this by chance, we can make it to the next one. I should be reconteering the city. I am glad, though, that I was... So it turns out that what this word is, and this is... I'm going to talk about this just because I like words. Thinking about where they come from and what they mean. Reconteer is, in fact, the... I guess it'd be the verb version of reconnaissance. So to reconteer is the act of reconnaissance. Which is strange that I've never heard that word, to me. Because it seems like that reconnaissance isn't... It's not like it's an unusual word. And unfortunately we had disaster. So we know we can get through the first one. But we have no means currently to get through the second. Okay, so this is also something I don't remember. I don't remember what happens. I thought this did something. Maybe you have to already have a Defiance? Or maybe I'm thinking of a different shrine? Yeah, so the Colonel's shrines sometimes smell of gunpowder and sometimes of snow. I can learn more of the battle mysteries of the Edge here. This is very useful, and if you don't know the main use of upgrading the Edge in this, so normally you have to combine multiple Edge lores, Edge Lords? Edge lores to get the upgraded edgelord. That's what I'm trying to say. But in this one, first of all, you only get the edgelord. Also, we can make use of this dawn. Thoughts of peace might help us make it through the Merry Feaster's lair. Unfortunately, this will also go against us, but it's helpful. It's enough. I feel like I was talking about something. A specific thing, and I forgot what it was. Oh, we might lose the Colonel's Shrine in this by doing this, which would be unfortunate, but it seems as though they're liberally placed. I still have not seen the opportunity I'm looking for. And unfortunately, we have too many traces on the board, so we've been found. Fortunately, though, we have multiple weapons at our disposal at this point. Yes. Bide said, blood can be replenished, time cannot. Bide knew what he was about. I wonder if that's the same as it is in all of the other runs. So I think we're going to start this up again. We'll keep the tranquility long enough for that not to be an issue. Medical credentials, we already have those. I am not... You can get a particular opportunity while in troubled cities that I'm very much looking for because it's so helpful. And also I was correct that we did not... So we've lost that shrine, so we can't dedicate ourselves to the Colonel currently. We weren't strong enough. We lacked the strength to be able to fully dedicate ourselves to the Colonel currently. Or at least that's what I'm going to say. But hopefully we'll be able to find a future shrine. Night. So, because we're so low on traces, this seems helpful. It doesn't particularly matter, but I think this is Edge. We needed 8 Grail, but we get that. And I'm pretty sure the last one requires 12 Edge. Actually, this one's more helpful. Cover my track. When the moon tracks. When the moon sets, we'll put our plans into motion. Oh, I didn't notice that. I wonder if what you use in that actually changes which one it uses. So we'll immediately use this. That's only 4 heart. I don't think that's nearly enough. Because for some reason I keep on thinking this Grail is helpful to us. That's very unfortunate. I think we'll have to get lucky again. Unless I'm able to get more heart? How much? This gives us 4? Along with 8, that's 12. So if we use this connection, we're able to get to it. 4 plus 6 is 10. Look at me doing basic math. Plus another 2 would get us to 12. So all 3 of these, but I don't think we have enough time to actually be able to do that, which means that we might have to throw all of that at the problem leading up to it. Unless we can get another Dawn. A connection with radicals. This might have consequences, but I'm not planning to stick around. So this is probably one of my favorite connections I found so far. It can only be found in troubled cities. Wait. I think you can make cities troubled. Hesitation, my pursuers, cautious or cowardly, or uncertain of their proof, have done nothing yet. Good. Okay. So we're gonna save. We don't want to use this connection up anytime soon. Hopefully you can start to see what we're gonna do. We lost something, but considering I had already used it, likely I wasn't going to. Right, I forgot that that's actually what happens when you cover your tracks. We got an obscurity. This might be the only defense against the Reckoner Lord. It might be no defense at all. I wonder what that means. That's very ominous. It's much easier to find firearms now, since the war. We can't have two, though. Which is very unfortunate. I'd love to have two, which I think is why that text is actually on there. And it's not like we could sell this one for a profit or something. And also reinforcements. Unfortunately, we're immediately back to 3. That's the only reason I'm not a huge fan of actually doing that. And we're still short. Lest I use the Radicals connection. That would make us lose it, however. Ooh. I think we need to do this, though. I think we need to do this. Hammer and Anvil. I've used Ingenuity. If you're not aware of what this gets you, since I've done it before, I think I've done it before in a video. I might not have. This will allow us to actually recruit Bala. Which is, it's too helpful. It's because I think that then they can become, they start off as a 6, so I believe that makes them a 7. Another weapon. I think we want that one. Yeah, let's go after that, even though it's going to require a little bit of money making. Having an additional weapon is simply too helpful. The other thing I'm thinking is, also I haven't made use of my medical credentials. We could do that. Unless I was worried. Right, they're gonna eat our obscurity. We could use this time to make a strike on them. And if they attempt, this might be worth it. Steel and Science. I outmatched them, and it's time they knew it. An attack that uses both edge, technique, and a weapon will always hit. White Warehouse. We could use the little bit of funds to attempt to open up a practice. That might not be the best idea while in a place where that's not looked forward upon. Or it's frowned upon. That's what I meant to say, I think. A little bit of moth would help. I feel like I had moth from something. But I think instead we'll throw... Violence is a solution. A creature of crushing strength layers here. I'm more of a match for it. What's... A creature of crushing strength lurks here. Some monsters are the linesmith's children. Some are echidnas. Some are both. Others are worse. Oh, that's referring to them being echidna's children. I feel like I should have gotten that sooner, but... If we get this second weapon fast enough, I'll immediately use it on... Oh, no, I won't be able to. So I'm hoping for them to attempt theft, because that would wound them. Which would give us the ability Okay, we've gotten our radicals connection again. More connections is what we always need. I wonder if you don't lose the radicals connection if it goes all the way through. A palpable hit. I've struck and faded back into the city. So, reinforcements already. So this was a useless attack. That's very unfortunate. And also, I want to immediately purchase this weapon. We can wait on the radicals because I'll get a decayed version of it anyway. So not too helpful. Does the number of bullets in this picture change as you use it? I really hope it does. Also, interesting enough, this gives you 2 worth. It has 2 worth. You can sell it for more than you bought it for. That's also curious. Also, it's not profane. An antique rifle incised with 5-fold marks of the many winged ones. The Titanite iron balls, monster killers remain. So we have an additional weapon. And I think it's time. Yeah, I think we'll want to do this sooner rather than later. Underworld. If we need that connection, we can buy it. We've spent quite a number of years here, and we've had a success safely away with my haul. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait for it to refresh. We also got this back, so we didn't technically need. We didn't need to find it a second time, but having it is helpful. Oh boy, how long does this last? Thank God. The Merry... Oh my God, I just realized what this is. It's the dance boy. I can't remember the name of the boy. It's dissolving quickly as its internal structure corrodes. Okay, so we managed to get what we were after. But at what cost? Not much at all. So unfortunately we lose that, because that was on the previous one. And we now have the radicals. And this is where... I rather enjoy this. Use connections with radicals. Use Forge to assist an uprising, or Winter to betray it. This is only possible in troubled cities. Ah, okay. So you have to be in a troubled city to do this. Now, I think at this point, I do know a little bit. So if we do... Okay, we're going to have to wait for our Reckonteering to end. I do sort of know enough about this. This is a hostile move. I don't ever want to use a decade. That terrifies me. This is way too long. I think we're gonna have to use this as a defense, which makes me upset because that means we're also using up one of our bullets, and we're not exactly in a safe state at the moment. But assuming it might be possible for us to get attacked by our foe while we're still here, because unfortunately, quelling an uprising takes a bit of time. Yeah, this might not go the best. So we need the city that is troubled. We need our Defiance? Really? Yeah, I haven't quite figured out what this does. I think you might actually have to have dedicated yourself first. Betray an uprising. This has been a century for revolutions, and it's hardly begun. I'll be saving lives. So there's an opportunity to profit, and you'll win favor with the local authorities. The Colonel likes the status quo. That little bit is what makes this interesting to me. But I think you might have to have dedicated yourself to the Colonel first in order to make use of it. I don't know how this works, to be honest. But I think we're dedicating ourselves to the Colonel as much as possible, so this is how we're going to go. We're going to betray an uprising. Might need to make use of more connections, however, as it does... Ooh. That's interesting. It actually leaves behind the wound. I wasn't quite expecting that now. So I think challenges will occur while your operation is running. If you can match their aspect requirements by adding cards, your operation will be subtler or more effective. Cards will remain in the operation until it ends. Okay. So actually... I think... we actually have... it doesn't tell me which... Oh, this does both. Okay, so a little bit of tranquility. Interesting. The drum unceasing. I'm addressing a challenge with heart. This will increase subtlety. I'm also increasing it with winter, though. I think it actually does both. Both. And I can immediately add more to it. So heart and winter aspects are the most useful things. It seems as though heart would be more helpful, but I don't actually have any more heart sources, so we can also increase winter to hopefully get a little bit more out of it on our side, if you know what I mean. 64 seconds. So we definitely have to do this before we leave, or else the whole aspect of killing the feaster was somewhat useless. That's unfortunate. He's immediately back on us on a hostile trail. That's very unfortunate. And we haven't gotten much in the way of things to distract them with. The only fortunate part is that they also aren't calling upon our foe, which would actually be the more worrying of those. Oh, a direct attack, that's right. So as soon as this comes off of decaying, we'll immediately try and get our hands on that. Oh, I guess it's not guaranteed that the next one requires winter. We've drastically increased our traces. Night deepens. So we are addressing a challenge with winter. This will increase subtlety. Both of these increase subtlety? Okay, this is very unfortunate. The Reckoner Underboss has evidence I'm here, but they haven't moved against me. This can only mean that they've sent from their superior, my foe. So we are in an unfortunate circumstance. Oh, right. So we've now gained an additional ally. The one thing that's annoying about this is that they'll always be using... They always use... hostile moves, which means that essentially as soon as this ends, we need to immediately get out. But we have a lot of things we're trying to carry with us, so... I think I'm going to sell... This was helpful, but I don't think it's going to continue to be as helpful. We're going to sell that. And ideally, I'd like to align these things to allow me to run at the same time, but I don't think we're going to get that chance. So, my foe is striking. Yeah, we don't really have a way to deal with that very well. We're going to... How many of the shots... We've already used one of the shots. And... Theft or sabotage. Okay. We'll put friends in the right places. And that's hopefully enough. So that's somewhat fortunate that we actually have a way to deal with it. I'd like to have one of these on hand as we leave. We might not get the chance to use it, but it's simply too helpful. I don't think... Yeah, either 12 heart, persuasion, or moiter. That's interesting that it actually outright points out that that's what you're doing. So this is something I'm not quite... Because So we have the funds to start leaving. What do you give us? Okay, nothing that's particularly helpful. We could start the process of leaving, but this is still going to take another 40 seconds. And more time on top of that. So we've wounded them. Unfortunately, this is... I'll break you too. He's too close. He snatches the rifle, breaks it like a stick, and tosses it aside. Oh no. Okay, so we lost our nice rifle. That's scary. Currently he's stalking us. Theft or sabotage again. We again have a response to this. Oh god, okay. Unfortunately, this is taking so long. We're gonna need more connections. The other unfortunate thing is that I think the one benefit of the Lionsmith is that you get a false trail out of also burning, essentially burning the city down behind you is enough to them lose track of you in the chaos. Which is real fun. Oh, it's useless against him. We'll have to use that. I unfortunately can't do this, but I think we'll still succeed, fortunately. You aren't... Yeah. You aren't required to make that one, but it does help. And I think, since that is going on, we are going to... Hopefully this timing works out, that as soon as this goes on, we'll get everything back from it. An operation is complete. A light touch. Again, theft or sabotage. And... Oh no! This isn't actually gonna finish. All of these funds, we're not gonna get them. I didn't know that it would take this long. All the work we put into that is going to immediately... I think we're going to lose this temptation as well. Oh, no. Managed to wound him 3 times, but that... Oh, no. Okay, okay, we didn't get the funds. Okay. That could have gone better, but I think the only thing we lost actually was the funds, I hope. And I think Tante Adeline's man, excuse me, is a surly, lanky fellow in a leather apron. He doesn't speak to me at all. He just sits there feeding gobbets? That's not a real word. Gobbets of raw meat to his dogs. But he listens as I explain, and he motions to a huge Crocian to follow me when I leave. Crocian? Crocian. So unfortunately this city isn't particularly helpful. Paris. We do start with a connection. So unfortunately we didn't gain those funds, and I think at that failure on my behalf, that's where I'm going to leave this one off. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.